This is a K24 fully built engine, 550 horsepower, turboed, automatic BMW gearbox, rear wheel drive, classic retro Ford Sierra. Wow. Bloody hell. That back end goes light, doesn't it? Jesus. No, listen, we'll end up in a bush, me and you. This is classed as a Ford Merkur.
It's not even Ford, technically, it's just Merkur. They were never sold by Ford.
So this is definitely the controversial area of this build. A lot of people are going to put in the comments saying, should have been a YB, should have been a YB. I can understand fully why you'd go down this route. If a YB engine, rough condition, is around the £2,000 to £3,000 mark, it's a lot of money, then you've got to rebuild it, and they're not the best engines, unfortunately, to say that for the purists who watch my videos. The 4-cylinder of the Honda motor package, the K20, K24, is one of the best 4-cylinders on the planet at the moment. Basically, you can buy an engine for around the £900 mark and it's super reliable. There is off-the-shelf parts to make insane horsepower. This is definitely a package that people need to consider, and that's why there's the saying K-swap the world. This turbo at the moment is probably only running just over a bar of boost, so technically this thing could go quite a lot more power. But at the moment it's around the 470 to 550 mark. Is this the right way to do it? Is it the wrong way? In my opinion, a lot of the classic cars and a lot of the classic parts have gone insane money over the years. So for me, this is right. So this is the thing that everyone wants to talk about, again, following on from the K24 engine. Is this. This is the BMW rear wheel drive. I'm being told I think it's an 8-speed or a 7-speed gearbox, which is classed as an 8 HP. It's a very popular conversion which is coming through nowadays because you get this super strong gearbox. It's automatic for quick shifting to get through the gears quick, especially if you're performance based, but also you can fully control it with many options with the ECU and aftermarket setups. Even though it's an automatic gearbox, you can have a clutch pedal. So you can clutch kick it, you can use it for drifting, you can still launch on the clutch. There's many options you can do, and this is why this is becoming super popular. Other things to pick up in here are the seats. The seats, again, giving that from an old school to a new school, they look really nice in here. These are Focus ST seats, which have been modified to sit in, including the rear bench. From my experience of Sierras, it looks like what you'd class as a standard Sierra dash. There is a few little switches on here, which again, I don't know what they do, which again, I'd like to see. You can put in the comments to tell me what it is. There's a button here which says speed control. We have these 17-inch BBS split rims. The owner says he doesn't like them, he's going to change them, but I really like these. I think it suits the theme of this car. So then going on to the brake package, it is on Focus ST170 brakes all round. The spoiler is actually a Cosworth spoiler which has been trimmed down, but then it has this XR4Ti American spec front bumper, which is hugely longer, and that's because American regulations meant, from what I'm being told, they have to have a large aluminium slam panel behind here for reinforcement purposes. I would have guessed for crash regulations. The screen wash bottle is on this side, which is in the boot area. Another strange little twist that the American shells and models had different to the European spec cars. There's a thing called the 909 Motorsport shell modification. That basically means, to my knowledge, the Ford purists are probably going to rip this apart. Everywhere has been reinforced to kind of a motorsport standard. Double skinned, extra reinforcing patches. This shell came as standard with it from America with all them additional pieces. Did the XR4i that we got come with the 909 package, or was it only the US market of these Merkurs which came factory with the 909 setup? Put it in the comments because I'd be interested to know. It's just a cool car, isn't it? How do you know what gear you're in?
Got a display here.
Oh, right, okay.
So you can go in. I don't know if it's set up properly. That's on trans brake now. I can obviously build it.
I see, you build some boost and whatever you put some, right, I see. Right.
If I just let it go, you see.
Wow.
That's why the diff doesn't like them.
I can't imagine a factory Sierra diff liking that. Wow. Bloody hell. That back end goes light, doesn't it? Jesus Christ.
Hazes like them.
guess, like you say, it's the box that's making it feel a bit stable, because it's smooth through the gears, there's no jankiness. Yeah. That back end light's done it. Alright, change the gearbox modes now. Bloody hellfire. Let's not end up in a bus, John.
Yeah, it scares a few people, believe me.
I think this is the gearbox is the impressive thing.
Yeah.
Bloody hellfire.
Nice weather conditions.
Yeah, it's not right, is it? It's not the best to go out in a 500 horsepower rear wheel drive Sierra in this weather. The only thing you'd be confident is you've always got two hands because of the auto.
Oh yeah.
That's a good thing. Can't get over
Yeah, it behaves.
how well it works.
Behaves itself well.
Yeah.
So
It'll hold the power. You can adjust the gear shift and the drivability.
you've got full throttle gear changes, obviously.
Yeah.
There's no lifting off for gear
That's what I
swaps,
mean.
so it's just a shame it's not dry. So
So let's not. Yeah, that back end's light. Really light, Josh. Jesus.
I just tend to try and keep me foot in and.
No, listen, we'll end up in a bush, me and you.
I know we'll have to set that. We'll have to get the tractor out. And pull it out of
We
the
don't
bush.
need that, John. We don't.
Yeah, I'd say it's good if you want the clutch as well. So I can press the clutch in now. And
Oh wow! I didn't think of that. Yeah. So you'd literally dip the clutch, even
Yeah.
though it's an auto, and you just disengages the box.
a lot of the time at the drag strip, I was launching off the clutch. There's
Yes.
the trans brake issues with the diff.
And is that a bit more softer on the diff?
Yeah.
So you flew out to Florida.
Flew out to Florida, yeah, decided I'd enough of England and
Don't blame you.
went out to Florida and yeah, bought this out there, found it, and then tuned the Lima that was in it, the 2.3, but I was hitting like a brake horsepower wall with it, like 400.
This is classed as a Ford Merkur.
It's not even Ford, technically, it's just Merkur. They
Oh,
were
right,
never,
okay.
never sold by Ford. They were
Right.
sold out of Mercury Lincoln dealers. Ford took their name off because they were, I think they were $20-something thousand new.
Right.
And Ford knew no one had paid that for a car.
Right.
So they made a name up, which was Merkur, and Ford gave the shells to Carman,
Right.
and they built them all
Okay.
for the US market, and then they were exported, but they lost money on every car they made, apparently.
Right.
Every single car was a loss
Were
to
they
them.
popular over there?
Yet no, because of the price. They
Right.
were aiming at BMW and Mercedes drivers, but yeah, they were just. But most of them were sold up north and rotted away.
So what models is classed as then over
It's
there?
just a Merkur XR4Ti,
Right.
yeah,
And what engine did that come with?
2.3 Lima that looks similar to a Pinto.
Oh, right. Okay. Were they turbo? Now
Yeah,
aspirated?
turbo, yeah.
A standard turbo.
Turbo, standard. They were the Mustang SVO engine. They were the Cosworth, weren't they, really?
Yeah.
They were the. Because
Wow.
Rouse raced the Merkur before he raced the Cosworth.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
It also explains where all the XR4Is went.
Oh, was that
because
right?
They just vanished, didn't
Yeah,
they?
because there weren't many over there, were they?
B-Reg, AB, and then they vanished, sort of. So basically, the shells went to Carman for the US market when the Cosworth come about.
Oh, makes sense. So where does this shell start then? So you've gone to America. You've gone, I want to build a Sierra again because you're a Ford guy.
When we hit the horsepower wall with the Lima, I was either going to have to spend some serious money on it, and then it was me tuner at the time, Carlos, over there. He said, put a Honda engine in it if you want to go fast.
So I'm going to guess it's not a bolting job. It's a bit of fabrication here and everywhere.
Only making the mounts myself. I had to buy the oil pan, the sump. But other than that, yeah, easy.
Gearbox on the original engine would have been
Type 9.
type, right?
Yeah, I then converted it to a T5. And I was doing a lot of drag racing with it. And I was king of missing third gear, so all the boys used to say at the strip, if you want to go fast, go auto. So a guy over here with a Mazda, he'd already done it.
So so technically, you're not a Honda fan, just because your tuner says it's a good engine, we'll have this.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I've looked into maybe building an all-wheel drive Civic. For the past 10 years, I've been on the Puerto Rican tuning scene, and the market for this engine over there is just, bits are everywhere
Yeah,
for
it's
them.
massive. So let's go with the. Have you done anything to the body since you've got it?
No, nothing. It's
So-
as I bought it.
Was it stored outdoors, or is it because there's the sun?
It was garage most of the time at the house in Florida, because say unfortunately first mod was take the AC off. You couldn't use it really unless winter.
It's so clean, the shell in it.
It's
It's in
painted,
fantastic.
full of scratches.
But it's in fantastic condition. It's not rotten like your
No,
PCS
there's
in this
no
country would be.
zero rust on the whole car.
So what's the back axle?
It's still standard.
It's still standing. You don't
Yeah.
have no problems.
No, I've got a bit of an ill dip at the moment. But I'm going to change that soon. I'll either go BMW.
And obviously everyone gets attached to these cars. What was your thought process in bringing it over? Because it's a big expense.
It cost me about 3,000 to bring
Oh,
it
it's
over.
not too bad then. I thought it'd be a lot
It
more.
could have been a lot cheaper. I could have done it for about 12 if I just drove on the ferry, because they do a roll on, roll off.
Okay.
But I just stuck it in a container. It doesn't even owe me that much money, to be totally honest, because I've done it all myself.
Yeah.
I haven't got the Cosworth tax really. Say the engine breaks, just go to scrapyard
And get a-
another 900 quid.
Yeah.
Motor and throw it in and you're good to go again.
The purists are always going to go, just put a Cosworth in it, just put a Cosworth in it.
Yeah.
But a scrap Cosworth engine's £2,500 nowadays.
Yeah, and say, to be honest, I used to drive Mard and I never had much luck with them, to be honest. I was constantly building them. But
This is far more reliable.
yeah, you very rarely open the bonnet. Say in Florida, I'd drive the event, race all day and drive home again.
So what's the race scene like in Florida?
Oh, it's huge. Say, where I lived, there was 3 drag strips within an hour.
Right,
With
wow.
a drift track. Street racing scene's big over there.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Wow.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, and there's a lot of money involved, to be totally
I've
honest.
seen. That's why I'm very surprised
I
you've
know
come back
lads who'll drag a
being a
car from
petrol head.
New York down to Florida just for one race for 10 grand.
Wow. What you're saying is the UK scene's not very good compared to the American scene.
No, God, it's just different. It's
Yeah.
They sort of appreciate the car over there.
Listen, 2025 we'll be out of the drag strip and you'll be able to.
Need to break it. Give me something to do then.
It's too reliable. That's why you shouldn't have put an Honda in it.
That's it,
You should
yeah.
have left a Ford in it. If you don't do this, you're never going to keep them alive. They're going to be tucked up in museums, tucked up in private collections, and never used and abused. But by doing these conversions to the Honda engines, to whatever engines and gearboxes setups they are, you're keeping that old school look and you're keeping the retro vibe alive. Who doesn't love the silhouette of a Ford Sierra? So put in the comments whether you agree, whether you disagree. But for me, I really like this build. It's a 550 horsepower rear-wheel drive Ford Sierra. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Take care, and I'll see you all on the next video.